I've heard this phrase at least 10 times in my friends' gaming community in the past week. That's why I've decided to do this video and help you understand it from a different perspective. I'm Ibra Jays and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you enjoy video games again. Take video games for granted. I'm personally guilty about this one because during the years I started to get games just because they were accessible, perhaps on services like PlayStation Pass or Game Pass, and download them and never play them because we have so much variety nowadays that sometimes having all these is not necessary, and we don't know what to do about it, so we simply download a game, play it for a couple of hours, and then we dropped it because we know that potentially we're gonna have something better the next month. And even if this doesn't happen, we still pay for services like Game Pass or PlayStation Network that we don't really care because usually they are a small fee, therefore we give them for granted. What I've noticed is that since I started to purchase only the game that I really want to play, firstly I've been saving a lot of money, and secondly I've been enjoying the game that I play a bit more. That's why my idea here is that if you really like or fancy a certain video game type, make sure that you really want to play the game and just get the game perhaps on CD Keys or any other keys website, so you can save a bit of money, and stay focused on playing just the game that you download. So don't download 6, 7, 10 video games, so your attention span will be higher and you'll see these as a kind of reward post-work or perhaps for your personal time, and you enjoy the video game way more than what you're expecting. Listen, some nostalgia here. I remember the only way to play multiple video games, because services they weren't there at the time, was to go to Blockbuster, so rent games for hours or days. And I remember that we used to rent at least one game every weekend. So we used to play at least 2 different video games a weekend with 2 different consoles on the same room, just to cover many video games as possible. But nowadays you can download any services and play like at least 100 titles from the service. So you have a huge and different variety that you can easily plug and play every day. Hyper-stimulated world and society. We are constantly bombarded from news, ads, and all sorts of messages from friends, co-workers, relatives, and so on, so on, so on. What I've noticed, and again, this is something that I've been doing for years, is we don't find time to actually play and enjoy the video game, because 90% of the time we pass it scrolling through YouTube Shorts, TikTok Shorts, and the internet. It's such a blessing for human society, and at the very same time a curse that makes us dumber day by day. I literally started to switch off my phone when I'm back home, or literally put it on focus mode, so I can enjoy some quality time with my video game, because otherwise I'll find myself through a loading screen that perhaps is a minute and a half, scrolling on YouTube Shorts, starting the game for like an hour and a half, and end of the days I've been playing that game for probably 25 minutes. And then I play the game that is not interesting, not keep me on, and so on, so on, so on. You install the game and then blame the video game industry. Try to do this yourself. So try to come back home, switch phone, and every single devices that can connect you from the world, unless you're not playing online with your game. Don't switch your Wi-Fi router. You can't play with them. Joke apart, try to find time yourself to actually stay in the video game, enjoying the plot, or perhaps mastering some rank on whichever games you're playing online, and dedicate at least an hour of good quality time with the video game. Then if what you're doing is also to do things for social, so perhaps posting video and stuff like that, that's what I'm trying to do, is try to find time to work actually to your goal and achievement and to enjoy video game. There's some kind of content that I prefer to play online and some others that I prefer to play personally, so I usually try to find the time to switch on off between them, and that helped me massively to enjoy video games. I've noticed that I've been more proficient in finish them, more consistent, and understanding a bit better the game lore and stuff like that. Play shorter game like indies, AA, or old titles. With these, I mean that you should play a bit more shorter games. Why? Because this is a cycle that recently happened to me and so many of my friends. When you play a long game that perhaps will take you in for 90, 100, 120 hours, a long time to play a game, you literally go into a, let's call it, burnout zone. So you are kind of disgusted about video game because perhaps the game was good, but it was a lot to grind, was a lot to do, a lot of fetch quests. So mentally you are tired and you don't want to play any game anymore. This is also how people describe this idea of this modern game, that they are filled with fetch quests, and to be honest with you, that's true. I completely agree with. That's why what I do is when I play, I call them exhaustive game, so a long game, I usually get after to a short title or to a AA that usually they are less in terms of quantity but more in terms of quality, and then if I really need it, play some old games. Why this kind of content? Because usually with old games I'm familiar, I still remember them, and I can navigate throughout the game pretty smoothly, while I can enjoy some quality time. I'm sure that I will never be disappointed about the game and keep playing. With indies, usually, again, they try to do something different. That's why I love so much indies recently. It's because I find some brilliant ideas in indies that I never seen in any AAA games, and that's why I've recently started my project indie. If you are more interested, just check on my channel. I'll be playing Little Nightmare 1, 2, and Firewatch. And soon we're gonna have more games coming. By the way, the goal is actually to try to split the quality of the game time. So you feel a bit exhausted, take a break, or perhaps play a completely different genre. They are all accessible nowadays, easy. There are many easy ways that I will not explain here because you guys probably know better than me, but play something short, something that gonna be a kind of fresh air for you, and then perhaps when you go back playing your favorite video game, you'll enjoy a bit more. We are no longer the market target. I put myself in because I'm from the late 90s, but I have some friends from the 80s, and I've been gaming games from the 80s, 90s, and those are my favorites still nowadays. We need to understand that when we were younger, the video game industry was really different. So it evolved, and nowadays what kids like, so the Gen Z likes, are oversaturated games, hyper fast movements, and so on. We also need to understand that video games are profitable. So people the devs that they actually design video games, they want to make profit on it. Back in the days, the idea was to create fun and create profit, but not just for the profit. Video game industry grows so much, so now the publisher and devs are greedier, and therefore video games are different. So perhaps they hyper saturated, they look colorful, they have different game ideas in one video game, and we need to understand this is what actually makes money nowadays. Some title and some studios, like the studio that they create Baldur's Gate, are still up, standing and strong. They won a game award, but we also need to understand that not every single devs want to follow this road, and we need to accept it. So this is the most painful thing to say, but video games evolve as we grow up. So we need to understand this and make peace with ourselves, and perhaps play a bit more retro game as I'm doing. And at last, plan your gaming session. I do understand, getting older, you may have a lot of different appointments, like family, work, friendship, and so on. But if you really want to fit video game in your time, as I think that you are here for, you need to start to plan ahead. That makes you plan perhaps some physical activity or some other hobbies of yours. Planning ahead will help you to enjoy and understand a bit better why you like gaming so much. With time, I understood that to me, gaming was mostly about spending some quality time with myself. So staying mentally and physically still engaged while being a bit out of my day problems. So video game helped me throughout my whole life, so especially from my teenage and adulthood, and still now I like to find myself some quality time playing games without doing anything else. I'm also a sport person. I literally in the gym 5 days a week, but as I plan ahead everything, even my YouTube content, I find the time to do everything, and everything have balance. Hope that you enjoyed this video, and hope you understand the key points of this video. Let me know in the comment down below if you're going to apply these tips in your life, and also let me know how it goes. Thank you so much. Ibra Jace out.